That's exactly what I did. All right, so we're gonna talk about it. Hello, YouTube. I don't really know where to begin, so I'm just gonna jump right in. It's been a while since I updated. Honestly, I feel really uncomfortable sitting in front of the camera right now, but that's fine. It's been a while, and I say this like every video, but whatever. I've got stuff going on in my life, it's fine. So, I today have some very big updates on animals and what all has been going on this time around. So as you guys know, I have been in our current apartment for quite some time, about 4 years. And we've always been really happy here. We've never had any issues with having so many animals in an apartment. It's been all good. And then unfortunately, in the last 2 months or so, that has kind of started to change a little bit. They're becoming a little bit less pet friendly, and I don't really want to go into it because I just don't. It's where I live, it's my home, and I don't want to cause problems. Just for the sake of keeping everybody happy and in a good working relationship, I have made some changes to the way I keep my animals. Primarily, which as I'm sure you can see from here and also from the title of this video, I took down the aviary. No one forced me to do it. I was never given an ultimatum or anything like that. It was just something that I kind of felt was necessary. And what you guys don't know is that I was actually planning to replace the aviary this coming spring, like in June, just because it was 4 years old. It was never really meant to last that long. Like all of, Kuzco's so mad that I'm filming. But all of the like wooden support beams and everything had been super chewed up by Chip and Matcha. I replaced the mesh on the front every 6 months. I had just redone the floor and the roof, as well as the back panels. So I was kind of at the point where I was having to replace parts of it every, like, once or twice a year. Long story short, the aviary was needing pieces replaced. So my plan was to basically replace all of the wood frame this coming spring. So between that and the drama at home, I just kind of decided, okay, I'm just gonna make this a little bit easier for everybody and kind of get an aviary that is a prefab, if you will, and that's a little bit more apartment friendly. That's the first thing that happened. And then in order to accommodate it, I had to redo my entire room because I started tearing down the old aviary and then realized that I couldn't actually get the pieces out of my room with the way that my bed was situated. So that culminated in me spending literally the last 6 weeks, like from the week of Christmas, because that's when this all started, the week of Christmas up until now. It is February 3rd, 3rd, and I just finished. And even then, like, there's still stuff that I want to be doing. No. I love hormone season. All right, YouTube, here's where we're at. So there's a flannel over the back of my fish tank in my sump so that the parrots can't get in there. Kuzco has been staying in this cage. I just had to put him away so I can film. Tita's normally in this one, but right now she is up here because I just dragged this whole box in. Behind there, that's the aviary. So that's what's left. I have to take it out, obviously. And then this is my package from Wayfair. So pretty much the wall that you see behind you that has the new aviary on it, which I'm gonna show in like 2 seconds. This is actually the wall that my bed used to be against, and that window right behind me that's ruining my lighting, that's actually the window that I used to film directly in front of for my natural lighting. So, and my lights, my blue lights used to be all along this wall. Now we live here. I'm gonna see if I can turn this. This is a new camera stand, so we'll see. So now my bed is where the aviary used to be. My fish tank is where I used to have a chair in that corner, so that's where the back of the aviary is. That wall with the whale thing is the same. And then this is where we're at. Yeah, so that's kind of what happened. I am casually looking for a new apartment, but I'm not really in a rush. Partially because I really do love it here, and also because we're in the middle of a housing crisis and there's literally nowhere to live. You know what? Okay, screw it. I'll stop talking. I will show you the aviary And then we can talk the rest of updates that have happened. Alrighty, so most of them, everyone minus Cusco, actually just came out for a bit, for the first time actually since I put them in here. So I figured it would be a good time to kind of show you a little bit of a new aviary tour. Not a whole lot because it's very much still a work in progress. There's a lot of yelling parrotlets. There's Indy right there, and then Matcha is just up top. Hi Cusco. Is this so unfair? Cusco hasn't figured out that the door is up here, but that's okay because there's a lot of doors. One thing I like about this aviary is how many doors there are, because I've been letting Cusco use this door. And I'm kind of hoping that it might take him. Ow! Come out if you're coming. Don't be a jerk. Come on. Wow. You coming? Okay. One of the things I like most about this aviary is how many doors it has, because I've been using this door on the side with Cusco and then this one for everybody else, and I'm kind of hoping that it'll stay that way, because there's times that I want to give the others some out of cage time but don't have the extra time to let Cusco hump his toy for 20 minutes before we can be social, which is pretty much what we have to do. So if they can come out and he can't, that's easy. Anyways, so this is pretty much where we're at. This is two of the aviary from Wayfair that you saw me putting together. So 1, 2, this is the first one that came, and then this one is the second. And then I'm just gonna open up a door here just so I can show you what I'm doing. Oh, sorry, Matcha. Did I spook you? Apologies. So this is the corner that my bed actually used to be in, and I will do an updated room tour at some point. So it's got these two middle doors right here. So this little door opens and then this big door opens as well, and it's the same on the other side. Kind of my only complaint about this whole setup is that the actual inside of the aviary is very inaccessible. This is the only big door. If I stick my hand in here, like right up to my armpit, I can't actually access any of the things up here. So there really should have been a door here, like a big one, or this entire front piece should be on hinges so that you can open it and actually get in there to clean, because it is really inaccessible. So much so that if I ever need to catch one of them to take them to the vet, it's gonna be a struggle. I was thinking about that last night because I'm not quite sure yet how I'm gonna do that. Next, I have up here, this is actually the front of a vision cage. If it looks familiar, that is why. And I put this here because I didn't really know what to do for the roof. So I used an old cage grate on the back here and drilled that in. This is actually this wall, so the other side of the aviary from where I merged them. And then what else we got here? This isn't quite attached yet. I literally have to drill it in. I was gonna go to Home Depot today to pick up more screws. The birds luckily do not have access to this thumbtack, but that is how it's being held in right now, which I don't love. Wow, focus. I'm also gonna be adding wheels because this does have trays that you can take out to clean everything. It is cleaning day, obviously. But I do wanna add wheels so that I can pull this out from behind the wall to clean behind the wall, like when I vacuum and stuff, because it does not have anything on the bottom other than the tray to catch all the food that they throw around. So I do actually need to put some kind of protector in the bottom partition of these, just to keep everything inside the aviary. But yeah, quick tour. So I keep their food dishes. These are just stainless steel dog kennel bowls. They're the only ones that Cusco can't manage to rip off of walls and stuff. So I use them a lot. But I keep these on the doors so that in the morning I can just open this out, swap it, and then put new stuff in here. This side has the same thing, but it has their water in it, and I open it on this side. And then there's also another little door in the back where I have another food dish, and that's also where I put their vegetables as well. And then up in here, I don't even know if you can see it, but I actually installed an extra cage grate along here as well, so that I can hang toys, because the roof is actually solid wood like this. So if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't be able to hang anything like up high. So this lets me hang things up high because that little yellow swing there is actually where the parrotlets sleep, and everyone likes to be up high at night, so I have that one there, and then Cusco and Kita usually sleep on this one here. And then I have their full spectrum lights, which I'm actually running a lot less than I used to, and part of that is because this aviary does lose a couple of feet. So they lose, if I can just back up here, compared to my previous one, they lose about a foot of height in the corners here. And then they lose a foot of length as well. So that wasn't entirely my choice. That was my building, and that was just the decision that they made. So whatever, you know, they still get a ton of exercise. They get out normally when they're not super stressed out by a new aviary, they get out daily or at least a couple times a week. Today is their first day outside, and they're all hiding, so that's fine. They'll settle in. But yeah, they do get regular out of cage time, and the way I set up all their perches in here, they can still fly back and forth. So they are still getting a fair amount of exercise, and I haven't noticed that I've needed to like reduce their feet at all. Like they're not gaining any fat from being in 2 feet smaller of a space. So it sucks, but that's what I had to do to continue living here. And my area is in a pretty major housing crisis right now. There's not really anywhere else for me to go. So that's just where we're at. The overall move was pretty stressful for them. I didn't film it just because it was a lot of them just sitting and being upset. But to be fair, Indy hasn't moved since I got him 2.5 years ago. Matcha's been in here since August, and Kita's been in here for just over 1.5 years. So they were all pretty settled in the original aviary, so for them to have to move was stressful for them. Plus, the entire layout of my room is different, so it's been a hard time. They haven't been super stoked on it. They were also all molting. But everyone seems to be settling in now and doing pretty well, which is nice. Okay, yeah, so that's the aviary. The next thing that happened is no sooner did I move everything around in my room and drag my fish tank across the room, throw my back out in the process, that my Duncan coral completely outgrew its space in my fish tank. And the logical solution here would just be to go get a bigger fish tank. But I'm poor now because I just bought 2 aviaries and put them together right after Christmas. So your girl's a little broke. Okay, cool. So I just rescaped my entire tank, and honestly, I did this like 2 days ago. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen it. I did it 2 days ago. I still hate it, but it is growing on me, so next we'll go look at that. Okay, so this is where we're at with my fish tank. You wouldn't know it looking at it right now because it's tank cleaning day, but I have a lot less algae since I moved my tank, and I mean, I've only moved it 2 weeks ago now, 3 weeks ago, but I have noticed things are growing much more slowly as far as pests, which is really nice. Because over on this side, it was getting all that light all the time. So, you know, not great for the fish, but great for the birds. Anyways, so, in my Instagram video, I think it was just like a story, you guys saw this Duncan up top was down here, and it was just totally taking over my tank. It's not really even that open yet for the day, but when it is fully open, it takes up almost this entire top area. It is also hosting my clownfish, which is why they're getting a little butt hurt right now that I'm poking around. But so I ended up just taking this whole rock out of the tank, rotating it, and then pushing it more to the back. So it is still like too big for my tank, and I do want to get it like shaved down, made into some smaller pieces. I'm a very hands-off reefer, and the idea of doing that scares the crap out of me. So I'm gonna see how this does, because it's only been in here for a couple days, and hopefully it'll just sort itself out. And then on the other side here, these are all the mushrooms that were more towards the top of my tank. And they all acclimated onto the side super well. They just kind of shimmied up well, completely out of shot. They just shimmied up the rock a little bit, and they're doing really well where they are, so I'm pretty happy to keep them around. I'd show you my crested gecko. I can show him to you real quick. He's the same. I haven't changed anything in his setup. Every spring I'm like, I'm gonna go buy him more plants, and then I never do, or I do and then they die. All right, and then in here somewhere is Sushi, my cresty. He's probably back in this corner. God, it's so hard to film in here. taking the wrong plant off. Yeah. There he is. Wow, what a great shot. He's just back in there asleep. Sorry this video is such a mess. Like, it's just been a time. Things that have happened with me. So my health right now is pretty much trash. It's not the worst it's ever been. I will give it that. But it's trash. So basically, I am currently undergoing a series of tests to kind of figure out where I'm at with my endometriosis so that I can hopefully have surgery in the spring. I haven't heard from my specialist though, so I feel like it'll probably be later than that. Meantime, coming off of Lupron has been a bit of a doozy. The first 9 months were fine, and I honestly felt like I was still on Lupron, if we're being real. And then around October, my hair just started falling out in like clumps. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like way thinner than it, oh yeah, you can a little bit. It's way thinner than it used to be. And it's super oily, and the skin is super dry all the time. My skin is like way worse than it used to be. I'm gaining weight like crazy even though I'm exercising. Like, I'm having a really hard time coming off Lupron. So my specialist suggested that I get my thyroid checked, so I need to go do that, and I just like haven't because it's a hassle. But a couple of you had actually noticed in my comments, which is hilarious because I don't even get that many comments, but a couple of you had noticed that I had put on some weight, so thank you. But that is where it's coming from, is I'm just having a really hard time coming off of all the crap that I've been on for years. Can you, I know you're gonna bite me and I don't want you to stand there while you do it. Thank you. Hi. Thanks. Other than that, I'm not taking anything right now for my symptoms. I'm taking CBD for pain when I need it, but that's literally it. I came off of everything that I was on just because all of like the cumulative side effects like over the years were starting to really affect me. Just go. So while all this drama was happening in December, I was also coming off of a lot of medication. So that was the other reason I wasn't online as much, is just because I was dealing with a lot of side effects, and just not feeling that great. Just not having a great time. Oh, the other big thing I did in December was I launched a business. Yup. This is something that I did. So you've seen in previous videos that I am doing equine studies at the University of Guelph. So my plan is, once I finish that, I would like to do my master's in equine studies online from the University of Edinburgh in Scotland. And I have a special interest in nutrition, so as we all know. Stupid. Anyway, so what I've been doing in the meantime is working with a couple of people who are older and wiser than myself, and I have been doing equine nutrition consulting services. So basically people will send me their current feeding plan for their horses, what their goals are, what's working, what's not working, and then I will go through it with them and with my advisors. Cusco. I'll go through it with them and with my advisors to come up with a personally tailored nutrition plan for their horses so that they can get their best performance and their best overall physical condition. So that's been really fun. It's been awesome because I've been getting to reconnect with people in the horse world that I haven't talked to in like, you know, a good 15, 20 years. Definitely like a roller coaster launching a business and having to learn the ins and outs of that. I also took a semester off of school this winter to focus on my health. So I've had a lot on the go, but I'm absolutely loving getting to work with horses again. It's been a long time, and I'm hoping to kind of bring more of that content along here at some point. Look forward to seeing more of in the future, and if you hate horses, sorry Emma, then that's fine. And then the very last thing that happened is I got promoted at my other job. So I'm now team lead at the pet store that I work at, which has been like a big learning curve and a lot of extra responsibility, but I love it there. I love the company I work for. I don't love that you're regurgitating all over me. So that's kind of where I've been. That's kind of where I'm at. Sorry this video is so scattered. Like I always say, it's a reflection of my life. And then of course we'll say hi to the burbs again. Hello. They hate it when I do this. But I put this vision cage front up here so that I can access them a little bit more easily. So now, when I fell, you can actually see them. Wow. And there's Cusco. God. Anyways, they're all doing really well. Matcha is super overpreened by Indy right now, but I added some more shreddable toys for them, and that took care of it, and he's been leaving her alone since. She does have pin feathers, and they are coming back in. I also don't really feel that bad because she overpreened Wasabi a lot. And then Kita just finished a molt as well. And she's doing really well. They're all just hunkering down for their midday nap. Ignore her little tail bob there. She has always had it. Ow. She's always had this tail bob. She's been cleared by the vet a couple of times. It's also because the way that she likes to nap, she kind of hunkers down and lays kind of how she is right now, like lays almost horizontally, and that can make them bob a little bit as well. And then, of course, we have Mr. Cusco. Where is he? Mr. Cusco. And he is having a not so great winter. So I don't know if you can see it on camera. You can a little bit, actually. He is extremely barbered right now. Definitely the worst he's ever been. This has all happened within the last 2 weeks, I'd say. And I'm gonna attribute this to a couple of things. They're getting more light. And I put them back on pellets while we were setting up the new aviary, just to make sure that they were getting everything they need. Come here. Do you want to scratch? Or not? Hey, come here, I'll scratch your head. There you go. So he's had a bit of a rough time. He's extremely hormonal right now. January, February are usually his most hormonal months and the ones that he struggles the most. So I'm very much looking forward to, it's February now, so I'm looking forward to only having to deal with this for another month or so, hopefully. He gets extremely jealous like this when I film. I don't know why. Like, I swear he knows I'm talking to people. Where are you? Hi. All right, well, this is terrible film quality and garbage content, so I'm gonna go. Hopefully in the future, I'll be back uploading consistently at some point, even if consistently is every 2 months like it has been for like the last 6. Hopefully this video made some sense to you, and hopefully it just wasn't some mad chaotic energy. If it is, I don't really know what to tell you because that's just how it is right now. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go put Cusco away, but I will see you guys when I see you. Thanks so much for sticking around. You guys are all the best.